Hello, welcome to a new session of the Musicians Guild featuring Travesty. Today we're going to be covering a pretty basic process. Typically, what I like to do before mixing and after songwriting, which I have not, by the way, I have not covered specifically songwriting and rapping. I will probably get to that sometime in the future, but I thought I'd skip a step ahead since I'm a step ahead regarding this process when I'm actually working on this music that I'm working on right now, or this beat I'm working on right now. I've already set up the lyrics and I set up the rap. Everything's pretty much been scored in Finale and set for pre-production and polishing. Today we are going to cover. Let's see. Today we are going to cover pre-production 105. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Pre-production 105. Pre-production 105. Score preparation for pre-mixing. Okay. So the title that we were going to be covering, and the lesson we're going to be covering, is Pre-production 105. Score preparation for pre-mixing. Today we're going to work all in Finale. Finale 2010. Now it's noted that since I have Finale 2010, there's a lot more features, so some of these things when it comes to preparing or polishing your scores, whether you want to maybe attempt to have them scored for games or composers, you want to be able to sell your works. I think the best and most important feature, if you want other people to play it, is to make sure that the score looks polished, it looks clean. You double check for any missing notes, which I've already done because I don't want to share my entire score or the beat without actually before the CD. But hopefully, stay tuned for January 2012. Hopefully, by the end of that month, I should be able to have at least 10 tracks, and then I'll be able to distribute them for my rap album that is going to be coming up. Okay, let's say you got a score here. You got your instrumentation here on the left, and you got all your instrumentation pretty much set in stone. You listen to it, you think the notes are polished, you got the arrangement the way you wanted it. Now it's time to actually structure the instruments so they could be as close to a polished score that an orchestra or other band members can read. Typically, what I like to do first is to make sure that the instruments that I've used are assigned correctly. For instance, I think it's most important to rename these titles, because drum set 1, drum set 2, drum set 3, drum set 4, it's too vague. You don't know what the heck is going on there. Typically what I want to do is go to click the staff tool, then go to staffs, and then it's staff attributes. And these are all the staffs these are all the instruments that you have used. So staff 1 is actually or I'm pretty sure that's an organ. So we'll write organ for the full staff name and abbreviate title ORG period. And that'll be the name of the title there. And then we'll name staff 2 organ, or actually no, excuse me, I messed this up. We don't want to name this anything because we'll have to rename that later, because this is part of a bracket that's been already named, since it's already, as you can tell, it's in blue. So we'll go to string ensemble. We'll name that fine. We can name it string N and sem, string and sem. That's good. And then the electric bass, we'll leave that electric bass, but we'll double check EB. Yep, that's fine. And then what we have here, I'm not sure what we have here. There's this missing one, but I don't know what the heck it is. So I'll have to double check, because I can't tell what the heck. Oh, I don't think that's anything. See, sometimes you might add extra stat. Ooh, I know what that is. That's actually a sound effect. So it's in the beginning. I kind of want a whoosh in the beginning before I kind of start. So, or some sort of sound effect that I want there. I just kind of added the instrumentation there to kind of be more accurate, and when I come to that piece to actually add the score or the sound effect, I want to make sure that's accurate. So we'll go to staff 14, name that sound effect, and then whoosh. We'll name it whoosh. Now let's name it. Let's name it an instrument like attack. Well, it's not really an attack. It's more of a. We'll name it swell. Swell effect. A swell. That should be fine. Swell effect, and then you want to name it S or FX, and then kind of want that swell. Okay, good. Okay, next one is drum set. I believe, let's see what the heck the notes are. To double check your notes, you can just pretty much go to the measure that you want. Click this sound icon over here. Once again, this is for 2010, Finale 2010. You might not have all these options that I'm going to be discussing about. I know that when it comes to arranging the score, you will not be able to do any of this. So you might as well just go, once you get your score arranged, just head it to mixing, and then when you want to afford the Finale 2011 later, you will be able to buy it. Let's see. I think that the Finale 2011 is like 300, but I can double check. So www.finalemusic.com, products, and Finale. We'll see how much it costs. I'm not quite sure. So if you hit buy now, let's see what it costs. It seems like it's, wow. I think it was 600, but I don't know how much I spent on it. I can double check. It's noted that these programs are pretty expensive, so you might want to save up if you're really thinking about trying to make a living doing your music or composing or songwriting. Just make sure you can save up for all these programs that you use. I can double check for how much I paid for it. I think I actually had a discount primarily because I bought the Noteworthy Composer, or the, yeah, Noteworthy, or Finale Notepad. Let's see how much it cost. Finale 2011. Oh, I played $444.52 for that one. So it's quite a not the most cheapest program, but actually Sibelius is around that same price. It's just, once again, I'm not a big fan of Sibelius because it just doesn't seem to be as the interface doesn't seem to be as user friendly. So you can just hit OK and then you're good. So let's figure out what this instrument is. To actually accurately determine what instrument you're using, you can actually go to instrument list and then basically leave this open instrument through staffs, or actually Windows, instrument list, and then you see drum set here. So it says drum set 1, but let's figure out what that is. You can actually solo it right here. So let's go to the measure that it has. So let's go to measure 17 and figure out what that note is. It sounds like that's actually I think that's actually, let's double check. I think it's actually a hi-hat cymbal open. So we might as well rename that Tools hi-hat. Now, typically, I know this is a drum set, but you can actually place more than one note on the particular set. But particularly, I like to actually separate them because when it comes to actually adding the sound effect or the correct note to it, it can be really tricky because if you have one effect for the cymbal and one effect for maybe the snare, but it uses the same staff, that can actually get really tricky because they're either going to be the same cymbal or the same crash, unless you use Toontrack, which might be able to pick out the type of note that it's playing because it seems to be set to general MIDI. If you don't have a map set for general MIDI and you use VSTIs, it's best to separate them into separate staffs, each of the instruments that you use, even including the percussive instruments. Since I know what that second one is, it's hi-hat. So let's go to staff tools, staffs, edit staff attributes, drum set 1. We'll name that hi-hat open. I want to double check if that's spelled right. Let's see, hi-hat open. Oh, hi-hat. I kind of want to be accurate in the writing because I don't know, I just like to proofread my instruments, just like when you proofread a paper, man. You don't want to have mistakes in there. So you want to hit stabs. I mean, is this actually necessary for anyone to sell sheets? No. If you are but if you're a structured composer and wants to try to make a living, professionalism can go a long way. I feel that if you have good scores, then you might be able to have a better chance of trying to make a solid income on it. So let's abbreviate hi-hat open. Okay, then this is hi-hat close. Alright, let's see what this next one is. Once again, you can go to Stat or Windows Instrument List. Solo, the third instrument, we can see what that is. I think that's actually looks like that's a kick drum. Yep. So we can rename that. Go to Stabs, Tools, Instrument List. Or actually go to Stabs. That next one is actually, I believe after the kick drum, it's tom-toms. You got a few different tom-toms in there. You can put the tom-toms together because it shouldn't matter if you have a VSTI tom-tom, or if you have a tom-tom VSTI set. There should be cover several notes instead of just one note. So you can go to tom-toms. Write that up. Then you go to and the next one is actually a snare drum, I'm pretty sure of that. You go to snare. Hit OK, and then hit OK, then you got those. What the hell are these ones? I'm not sure what this one is, the last one. It might be an empty staff, though I could be wrong. Let's see. It looks like it's an empty staff. You always want to double check, because if you delete staffs and you save it, then they're gone. So it's always best to maybe save a couple of versions before you actually delete anything. I don't think that's anything, but I don't see anything, so I'm kind of going fast. So that's the best way to actually to do this is probably to zoom out, because you might be able to just tell if you see anything. But I don't see anything with it. No, it seems like we're good for that one. So I'll just delete that one. To delete it, you just click the right icon actually, or the right click on the, there's 3 dots you see. Just right click on the closest one to the right and then hit delete staffs and reposition. There you go. That should be set. So let's hit file save and then go to tools, or actually staff tools, and then tools, edit staff attributes, and then go to, so would we name that sound effects? Let's rename this sound effect 2. We'll just name it sound effect rocket because that should be fine. And we'll name that rain. effects range, sweet, and then name that. This is actually a distorted. It's actually a tech. Let's see. I don't want to name this bass guitar because it's not really a bass guitar. It's actually more of a. It's been synthesized bass, so we can name it synthesized bass guitar. We'll name it bass guitar synth. You can call it BSS. Okay, and then we'll name this one. And this looks like it's a piano again, so you don't need to rename that. And violin. I don't know if that's actually I believe that is a violin, so that should be okay. So violin and cornet. I'm pretty sure that's not a cornet. I'll figure out what the hell that is, to be honest. You'll notice that there's some extra dynamic marks that aren't needed. That might be, like, cornet might be an empty staff, but I could be wrong. Just double check. Oof, that's actually a synth keyword. That's what I thought. So we can. So typically, it's probably best to go do this before you even score. You actually do pre-production because it can make things a little difficult. But I just kind of wanted to get this done quick. So you go to Edit Staff Attributes, rename that cornet to well, I don't know what the heck I named it. It's actually I can actually figure it out. Go to instrument list, and then you'll be able to tell what the heck you use. It's a lead 8, bass plus lead. Actually, no, it's not a bass plus lead. It's a lead 1 square. So we just name it lead 1 square. As you notice, some of these I wasn't actually accurate in some of the instruments for the abbreviations, and that can be important because when you have a score, the abbreviations show up, but if you kind of name them wrong and you want to print up the score, they can actually tell that the mistakes that you look, and that can be kind of a pain. Let's see, what is this? Oh, that violin one is a hit. That's cool. Orchestral hit. And that tenor there that's actually not, that's actually a vocal. This is another effect, symbol effects. Okay. Now you got them all written out, so you can basically just double check them. Orchestral hit, guitar fret noise. Another way to check it is go to view. By the way, I'm in scroll view. You can go to view and page view. See how that their instruments are set, so you can actually double check. You got string, E, swell. Alright, those look pretty good. Rocket, bass, guitar, violin. Still hit. Looks good. So the next step is to arrange them into a score that's readable, or a orchestral score. You know how they're arranged. You got I think you got woodwinds on top, and then it goes to strings. Or actually, you got the more I think it's percussion. I'll have to double check actually, but the one way to check this how scores are arranged for an orchestra, you can just go to a Google search and then you can kind of figure it out that way. So oh, add a piano part. Oh, let's see. You can just type score arrangement. Let's see if we can find anything. Images. You can start orchestral score, orchestral layout. There you go. Orchestral layout. That should help you find something. Orchestra score layout. Here's one. We can figure out what this one is. Let's see what we got. So we got, band instruments, and then we got percussion instruments, and then we have the violin. Still, let's check. I haven't really found one that I really particularly like, because I want to see how bass and drums are in there and snare for like the percussion instruments. I haven't figured it out. Well, we'll just start with this one. We'll start with the percussion. I can kind of vary. As you notice, it seems that the pianos and the harp is below, but I can double check. Bass drums, that's not a good one. Not a good one. Was that good one that I used? This one looks like really nice. Seems like the piano's on top. So, piano, mallets, timpani, bass drum, bass drum. That one's piano has it on the bottom. I'll double check why. I can't figure out why. And I'd rather try to find that. Oh, what the hell? Why did I leave that? Let's click that. Oh, it goes timpani, non-pitch, and then pitch, but it's not really helpful. Let's actually double check if Finale has that. If you go to stabs, do stabs with setup wizard, and you can be able to tell from there. Oof, it's not really set correctly. Which one did I go to? I want to save this. It looks really good, so I'm gonna bookmark it. Actually, bookmark this page. Done. Because you notice they put the percussions together, but it's just best to separate them because you need to set them up for VSTIs. Remember that. So we got bass drum. We'll just set it up now since I know the piano's on top. So we go to stabs, rearrange stabs. Let's see, reorder stabs. Then you go to piano, put that one on top, and then you can click OK. I don't know if piano comes first or organ, but we can double check. We have no brass. We have no band instruments, so we should be okay. Woodwinds, brass, etc. I think then we'll actually put the organ there. So piano goes on top, and then we'll go to reorder stabs. This is a little tricky because I know it can be a little hard to spend time on this, but I feel that it's still important. So let's see what else we have here. Piano, and then you know strings are on the bottom, so strings can be on the bottom. We'll put violin above the strings. Do we have any other? No, we don't. And then hit OK. Let's arrange some of them. Let's see. Seems like guitar's above drums, so we'll put the guitar on top. I don't know if it's a sound effect or not, but we can just rename it. Use stats with setup wizard. Alright. Orchestral hit that can actually go above. Actually below. Go right there. And then these are like sound effects, so let's kind of arrange these. How do I want this? So bass goes just good. Put that electric bass right there since it's a synth. And then sound effects. I don't know if sound effects should be on the bottom or not. It seems like they should be in the middle just because it's related to the piano, so I actually think they should be on top because they're pitched. So you can add like I don't know, does voice go after that or not? Vocals go on top, huh? Seems like vocals go on top, so we'll put the voice on top. Bass guitar synth, and then it goes guitars, etc., and then it goes. I actually think sound effects should be on top or on below piano, because they sound like that's where they would be. I'll put them in order because it doesn't really matter. So sound effects. Says effects can also be used on a keyboard, so that's why I want to put them there. And actually, we'll put the organ, piano organ, and sound effects. Like that's okay. And then we got a guitar fret noise. Can be up by the bass. It should be below. Then lead one square, which is actually piano, so that can be on top right there. Snare drum. Okay, so we got pretty much set. Now you see that the drums is set within a category. We can actually delete that by hitting OK. Go to stats, groups and brackets, edit. And then you can go to drums and then hit snare drum to snare drum. Delete. How do you delete them? Edit. There's a way to delete them. I know there is. You just hit groups and brackets. Oh, you actually had to click it. So, click click the staff tool, and then you click this one right here. How is it? I don't know how to move it. Oh, it's right here. Hit delete bracket, delete group. There you go. Now they should be separate if you go back to the groups and brackets. So we went to edit, and there it's not there, so we can go to your staff. So let's see these instruments, how they're set up. So timpani's first, but we don't have any percussion. Oh, it seems like the piano's below. Piano's below, damn it. Well, it looks like they have all the pianos below. Oh wait, piano's on top. So piano on top, and then mallets, pitch percussion, unpitched, bass drum, tom. So put bass drum, tom tom, snare, bass drum, tom toms, and snare drum. So bass drum, tom tom, snare drum. So let's kind of reorder that. Bass drum. Where's kick drum, tom tom, snare drum, which is good. Hi hat is below. Hi hat open, hi hat closed. So remember, voice between the vocals and the piano is the band instruments. So lead one square, then sound effects, bass guitar, synth, electric bass, guitar, fret noise, kick drum, tom toms. That looks good. So we can move this over a bit to double check. Hit this, click the set, go on. So we got voice, piano, organ, lead, sound effects. We got bass, guitar, synth, electric bass, guitar, fret noise, and kick drum, tom tom, snare drum, hi hats, and then violin, string ensemble. I think it looks good. I actually want to put orchestral hits on the bottom since that's more of a sound effect. So, bells, cymbals, tam-tams. Alright, sweet. I like the way it's set up. So, you can go to reorder stats and put that one on the bottom. Orchestral hit. Since sound effects are below the piano, that's not why I thought about it. Okay, sweet. So now it's time to set up the instrumentation. So to do this, you go to edit staff names, group and bracket edit. So what do we have here? We got vocals. You can click vocals and staff. Typically what I would do is add group 7, we can name that vocal or vocals. And then abbreviating VLC or VC, which is good. And then you don't want to show group name because it's gonna looks kind of strange. So voice to voice, and then none, which is good. Well, actually, it would look like this. The fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one in, but typically we won't use that one. Okay, then the piano's good because that is the piano. And then we'll go to the second one, which is actually an organ. Now we can actually rename that. Go to stabs, group and bracket, edit. So piano, rename that. Organ. It's actually a rock organ, to be exact. Rock organ. And then show group name. Hit OK. That change it to rock. Ooh, wrong one. That was the wrong one. I clicked the wrong one. So edit. I click the first one. Let's try this one. There, sweet. And that's the lead one squared. Now let's group all the sound effects together. So, actually, lead one square should be separate in its own group. So we'll add a new group. Add. We'll name it piano synth. No group name, and none. Just use the fifth one in again. Okay. Then we'll add another group, all the sound effects. So click sound effects to the first sound effect to the last sound effect. Okay, and then you go to edit group name, which should actually be synth sound effects. Or sound, we'll just name it sound effects since none of them may not be on the synth. Sound effects. And hit OK. And sound FX. They don't want to show group name. Put the fifth one in. And there you go, you grouped all the sound effects together. And then we'll group the let's put the actual electric bass. We'll put guitar synth below since that's more of a synthesizer. So get our stabs, electric bass. Okay. Sweet. No. We'll add, let's see what kind of graphs we got here. Oh, we'll have to add another one. Tools. Staff. Add it. So we got the electric bass and then the guitar fret noise. And then we'll name this, oh shoot, I have to add. We'll need this electric bass to guitar fret noise, and then you write, I don't know what the heck, I don't know what I would name these, to be honest. I just don't know what the heck they're called. Let's see. Pitched. Let's see what they categorize these in. I'm not sure. I think they're pitched pluck strings. Yep, they're called pluck strings. But I don't know if that's what it'll... Let's name it pluck strings. I don't know what the heck. Because I know it's a little different. So, they're not pluck strings because then... Let's see, guitar. We'll just, it is pluck strings, so we'll just categorize it. Pluck string. it don't show group name again, and then hit OK to the 5th one, and there you go, that's categorized. So we got non-pitched instruments, non-pitched instruments. Let's see what the percussion one. We'll just name it percussion one instruments. So group and bracket, and so that goes to kick drum to snare drum. So percussion one instruments, percussion one, non-pitched. So we'll name it percussion one, non-pitched. Percussion. Oh, I should name it percussion 2. I'll change that. Then we got the. We'll have to edit that because I didn't do it right, so. Ooh, I gotta redo that, damn it. We got the strings instruments, so let's just see, double check, new staff. Strings, yep, we'll just name that strings. So we're almost done. It took a little longer than I thought, but I had to do a lot of rearranging, so let's do that. Strings, and then don't show group name that. We'll click the strings, violin to orchestral hit. There you got. You got everything grouped as good as it can possibly be. Now the next step is actually to go through the entire score itself to double check. What I typically do is I double check dynamics and articulate, or I check articulations and then the shapes that I've used or the dynamics that I've used. So I want to double check that they're ordered in a friendly manner. The best way to do it is just to actually, if you go to the beginning, you can go to, if you download a plugin, it's called TG Tools. You can actually align move dynamics, and then you to average distant, then you hit go. And then it just says no region selected, process the whole document, tools, TG tools, and then to average distance, hit yes. See what happens. Sweet, and there you go, hit OK. Now we can double check that. I don't like the arrangement of this, so you can just click the line or the slur tool, what we call it, smart shape tool, scoot it in a bit, and there you go. Some finessing there. Those look good. Some finessing there. And then line that up a bit. It's probably mine. You line that up. Who is it? Anyway, so I pretty much cleared all the dynamics out, so it should be okay. It looks pretty good as it's professionally written. I think it'd be great for a copyright.
What's that?
If someone would like to use the score itself, or possibly if I use it as a beat, it's a good way to show some professionalism for your beats if you ever want to, you know, try to make a living doing it. So it looks pretty nice. But anyway, the next step is actually to get the sheets onto image. So the way to do that is you click this this graphics tool right here. You go to graphics. Or actually no, you click what is it? You click this page layout tool, and the score's right there. So I think the next step though is to actually get the title in and the subtitle and the composer. So you go to File, File Info, Title, and let's rename. I know what I just think I named this. You gotta rise when you fall. So, or rise when you fall. So rise when you fall. And subtitle, just leave it. What's the subtitle? Copyright C. Or actually no, the subtitle might be. I haven't named the title yet, so I'm just gonna leave it blank. Just go to composer. Travis D, an arranger, Travis D, since I've done all this. And the copyright's pretty important because, I mean, it's your scores. You want to have the right of your, so you go to copyright, C, 2011, and you do Travis D.
Travis, you understand what Becky said yesterday about your channel? You got a UPS has got so many different more deals in there. Are you listening to me in the way?
Records, and you hit all rights reserved.
Travis, will you please just give bottom. Will you please just give UPS the first of the year?
You go description, which is fine.
Travis, for Dad. Please.
1114.
You know what's going to do on your resume? You're looking at people jumping around in all these different jobs. It's not going to look good. And you're not going to have nothing. And you're not going to be able to go to piano school.
And you go TCB.
I don't know why you just don't get that in your head.
TCB, and then you hit OK. And then it'll change the title right there. So, and you look on the bottom, it actually shows the copy right there. Which is good. I actually want that on one line because it just looks kind of dumb. Then you can actually fit a little bit more space below it. So there you go. Copyright C 2011 rights in the reserve. And I want to delete the subtitle because I don't want to show on all of them. So the best way to do that is just hit delete. So as you notice, the all rights reserve isn't on all of it. So the best way to do this is go to the copyright here and then hit shoot. Actually, page layout. So you click the or wait, how do I click that copyright? I think it's text tool somewhere. Let's go to click it, or right click the edit and then edit text. I think. Or actually, you click that bottom part and then you edit frame attributes. So pages. All pages. You want the copyright on all pages because if someone takes it, they can at least see who the copyright's to. So you can just hit OK and it should show up on all the pages. And then we can just delete this other one since I think what I want to rename this though is actually Travesty Records. So I'll go back to File, Info, Travesty Records. Just because I like the name Travesty Records, not my name Travesty. And there's this Travesty Records. Hit OK. And then you can just delete one of them since it's not necessary. Just hit delete. And there you go. So I don't know why that score is showing up. We can just delete this. I don't like that score there. I don't know what the heck that's there anyway. We can just delete that. And then hit delete. I actually want to check these scores that we used. What does it show? John Williams, Combrio. Oof, I noticed another thing that I forgot is actually to enter the tempo. So it's right now 120. So the way that I do that actually is, let's see. Or actually, I want that conductor score on there. Edit undo. So we'll just rename that edit frame or edit conductor score. Which is good. And duration, we'll name that tempo Combrio, and then which is good. So now let's add the tempo marking. You go to the articulation tool, hit the G, and then you go to Allegro Let's see. I want to edit that. You know that's Allegro, so you just hit. You put set value to 120, which is good.
In other words, you didn't listen to anything that Becky told you yesterday.
You just hit OK. Hit sign. There you go. It should be set at 120.
Travis.
Allegro.
Travis, don't you know understand what we're saying to you?
Allegro.
It's not good to jump around and job.
Tempo marking. Now to figure out what your tempo markings, you just go to tempo markings, and then it's on Wikipedia, and then you got tempo. Then you can figure out what the tempo is set at. If you scroll down, you can figure out where your tempo is supposed to be at. Let's see, we should show it somewhere. Tempo. Let's see, Allegro. Quasi Allegro. Tempo markings. I'm not sure why, because typically when I use to do tempos, I can at least tell what the tempos are set at. So I can't really see it here because they're not setting the beats per minute on what it's supposed to be a BPM. So I'm not sure what the heck's going on here. I know Allegro is supposed to be 120, but I don't know what. Sure, it's not showing. Tempo markings. Tempo markings. Beats. We'll just do tempo markings BPM. We'll figure out what it is. So figure out this one. Okay, this should be good. Allegro. It's between 84 and 144, so that should be good. We got the beats per minute there. Just it should be dom@tc.musictheory. Oh, this actually, if you can read that, the website should be right here. If you want to check out the tempo markings for that piece. Okay, so we got that set, the conductor score, and travesty record. So let's double check if it's kind of related, like the one that we kind of comparing it to, copyrighted in the universal picture. So what we'll do is actually rename that title below Rise When You Fall a different title when we actually get something. So, but right now we'll just leave it plain since we don't need it. So. Alright, that looks set. So now it's time to get the sheets on a graphic. So you can actually distribute it, print them out, etc. Once again, press page tool, page layout, hit file, save. And another thing you want to double check is actually if you go to page view, you can leave it that page view, then you go to page reduction. Let's try 80%. See if they all fit on there. Nope. 80 will not work, so we need to get smaller than page resize page. Let's try 50. Oof, it might be really small, but so 50. Ooh, what the heck? It seems to me I lost my copyright, so file info, copyright 2011. I don't know where the heck it is. So I can't believe I deleted the copyright, so we'll have to figure that out. You just hit text. There's another way. If you miss it, you can just hit text here. But I actually want to go back, see if it's there. I don't know where the heck it's at. I must have deleted it by accident, so rename this again. Score, hit text. What do I name it? Score for inductor, or score for inductor. Conductor score. So conductor score. And good. So we can just delete this travesty records, so we don't need it. Let's scroll out. Rise when you fall. Conductor score, travesty records. And that's good. So the copyright stayed. So let's try tempo again. Click the expression tool. And hit Allegro. Change this to 120. Actually, just do this. 120. Positioning, playback, hit OK. Sign. There you go. That should be set. And then file info, subtitle. We'll just say a demo CD for now, because I'm not sure what I'm going to name it. Demo CD, or working title. Let's name it working title. And then working title. Our working title, yeah. Let's name it working title. We can edit it. Edit frame attributes. Recenter it. I can't believe I deleted it. I shouldn't have deleted that, but right now we can just name it working title and it should be okay. File info, file info. Right when you go, let's rename. I want to resize instead of text. How do I resize it? Do I go to edit frame attributes? Well, I want to be able to resize this, but I don't know why the hell it's not working. So it's like we have text here. Oh, I see. Let's see if we can insert a word, edit text, but I don't know. Insert. Oh, I see. I got it. This is a better way to do it. Delete this working title. Delete it. And then go to text tool, text, insert. Oh, how the hell does that work? Maybe you need to click it. So click that, then text, insert, subtitle. There you go, working title. Sweet. You just hit text. Let's see if we can align it to alignment, justification, alignment, center, or top, center horizontally. Sweet. So all you have to do is click the text and scroll up, and it should be fine. And we'll line that with the bottom one since I'll actually put it on top since I don't know what the heck. Working title, tools. Text. Size. We'll just make it 14 for now. Text size 14. Alright, working title. That's sweet. Now it's all centered. So that's happened if you accidentally delete one. You can actually go to text and then insert it that way. Double click the one of the page where you want it. Text, insert, and then you'll be able to click whatever one that you lost. So you can hit file, save. Sweet. Okay, now it's time to arrange it again, or actually layout it better. So you go to page reduction, then you go to 52%. You hit OK. And there you go. You got a sweet score set. You got to kind of figure out where you want it set, but other than that, you zoom in, it should be fine. And you scroll up, scroll down. You got a sweet working title, man. Sweet. It's all set. So you got the title there, copyright, it looks nice. So you go to file, save. Now to actually extract them to extract them to sheet music, go to file, save, and then tools. Another thing you have to realize is that if there's some notes that go beneath there's the ledger, but if it goes below the measures that you use the stabs, and the notes kind of they kind of overlap another one. What you can do to actually fix that is you can go to the staff tool and then drag it down. I believe it's actually the rightmost one of the one, and you can drag out the size and you can see what the size says. That says 124, but you're able to actually distinctly drag how long you want it or how short you want it. So, but it should be fine. I always look at the first page to make sure that it looks polished. But you got all the working title set, and scroll down. Copyright C 2011, alright, and then working title up there, and then everything's set. So everything is set in stone. So you go back to page layout, or actually graphics tool, and then export pages. You want to click all, and I always save them as a PNG because they actually, that's since when you save them to extract into pages, JPEG is probably the worst in terms of, because I guess it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's not lossless. You actually lose data over as you keep opening it up, and the quality keeps getting worse. So I always thought the TIFF is the best. Although I thought PNG was good too, but I'm not sure if I want TIFF. But I like PNG because I think that seems to be more common than the other one. So generate names for, and you click. If you notice that you got Rise When You Fall right here, so you just delete this, name the title after your folder name. Rise When You Fall, Travis. Oh shoot, I screwed up there. That's wrong. And then Rise When You Travesty. Rise When You Fall. Then you go to page number. And then you Rise When You Fall. So you go to. I always like to underline the score since it's important that if you're like on a, what is that called? If you're in that shoot, what is that called? If you're in the run program, I don't know. I just something in game design. I think it was best to actually list the page down. So you go to page 1. Okay. So let's make sure that's in the right area. So what I do here to double check if it's going to the right folder. I wish they had a better system. You can't just browse it like, which I don't know why they haven't, but you go to your album that you want, or actually your album, then you go to Rise and You Fall, new folder, and I always name it score. So then you click the actual folder, and then you put it in here, I believe. Okay, right before the title that you named it, and before the forward backslash. So then you hit all, and then you're good. You hit OK. All, generate name the title, and you're good. So then as it goes through them, it'll take a while, but it should be okay. There you go. I got all the scores set. If I ever want to give my score to someone, then that it's also another thing that I'd like to do. What I'm going to do is actually save it as a MIDI file. I'm going to save it as a Muse file, and in case someone has Finale. What I want to do before I actually try to make money is I want to copyright these type of works. So it's best to actually copyright the stuff, or copyright your titles, and then after that, after you copyright them, then you can go out and do what you need to do. So copyright your sheet music, your final mastered file. That's kind of what I want to do. I don't know the specifics on it, but I know this is what I want to do. I want to copyright the scores, the mastering file. I'll have the MIDI file there, and as well as the mastered MP3, the MIDI, the WAV file, and then the score itself. So that's another thing I want to do after it's done. So what it's doing is exporting the files. While that's going on, I can actually write what we did today. So number one, arrange the instruments by click staff tool, or staff icon, then tools, or staff tools, and then when you're done with that, you go to edit staff attributes. So you go to edit staff attributes, and after that, after you edit them, you actually want to go to reorder staffs, and after that you want to polish dynamic placements. Then after that, so you go to tools, TG tools, and then was it or actually you go to tools, or TG tools, and then you go to align move, modify align move, TG tools, or TG tools align. Remember, I downloaded this program, so I actually think I bought this program. Align, TG tools align, or modify align move, modify. And after that, you want to double check, or then you want to actually name, go to name score. So you go to file info, and after that, set tempo. You can check BPM, beats per minute, BPM on website. And after that, you check the BPM. You can actually go to page layout. After you get everything set, double check the tempo. You want to align the move, polish dynamics placement. Actually, double check. I want to write this. Double check dynamic alignment, and then check page layout. And then you go to page reduction, and after that you go to graphics tool, set folder, page, and name. Page, name, and go to all pages. I'm gonna click that little radio button, all pages, then hit OK. So double check work by clicking folder. So best way to do this is go to Travesty Records. Right, so your score's right here. All the pages. There's a lot of pages, but it's a long ass song, so pretty sweet, man. You got all the pages set, so it looks nice. It looks quite professional. So score is set. So the next step after this is once you're done polishing it up, check the score. You go to save this, save as. I want to name this final. Rise when you fall. Final, Muse final, Muse final, or Muse final. Hit save, and then you go to File, Save As, MIDI file, Muse MIDI, Muse MIDI, MIDI final. That's how I know that this is the final production of the before mixing. Score is set, everything's set, prepared for orchestral score or an orchestral company that may want to use my work. Hopefully in the future, if I ever use beats or some beat guy wants to take a look at my work, and I don't want to just give them out the MIDI, I just want to have them see the score, the work that I actually produce. This is some physical work that you could do, just print out the sheets and do it that way. Then you go to Travesty Records, Rap, Rise When You Fall, and then I want to actually put all, what I do is I create a folder called Scratch. Scratch, no, what's a good way? Scrapbook, and then I actually put all the older files in there. So, old file, and then you drag them right in the scrapbook. So, and all this other stuff. So right now, what you have there is the final Muse, and then you got the final mini sheet, and that's it. Pre-production's done. So it's about time to start mixing with Cubase. I might do another tutorial later, but after all this other stuff, you're good to go. I don't think there's any other problems. I mean, I can kind of think about it, but I don't think you'll have any problems because you got your score set. Another thing you may want to consider is go to instrument list and like change the channels, but that can be a pain in the ass. I just leave them. If they're fine there, then you can always change it in Cubase, which is fine, so it's not a big deal. Oh, you want to unsolo them too, so make sure next time if you don't hear one instrument, then you know you got it soloed or you got it muted. So, and that's it. Alright, take care, folks. Travesty signing off.